Well, here's something new. In the past 24 hours, many on the left have stepped up demands that companies like Facebook, Google, and Twitter, the companies through which almost all of your news flows, censor so-called fake news. That is, stories that some believe helped Donald Trump defeat Hillary Clinton. Such politically counterproductive writings should not be allowed, they argue, a point that the Chinese authorities have been making for many years. President Obama weighed in on the controversy today during a trip abroad to Germany, clearly siding with the censors. Watch this.
If we are not serious about facts and what's true and what's not, and particularly in an age of social media where so many people are getting their information in sound bites and snippets off their phones, if we can't discriminate between serious arguments and propaganda, then we have problems.
That's right. The politician-in-chief lecturing us about propaganda. So should the government and media giants begin clamping down on information they think might hurt the Democratic cause? Here now is Jessica Tarlov, a Democratic strategist, and Kristen Tate, a contributor at The Hill, and it is great to see you both. Ms. Tarlov, I will start with you.
Shocking.
So one person's fake news is another person's news. And the idea that these media giants, who really have more control over the information we receive than anybody's ever had in history, way more than William Randolph ever had, are going to start deleting things because they think they're, quote, fake, should scare all of us, shouldn't it?
Well, I think that censorship is obviously something that we need to take incredibly seriously, especially as we,
By take seriously, maybe we should be against it, just period, right?
Well, yes, I do believe that, but I do think that we do need to make a concerted effort to make sure that we are getting good, real news. I mean, this is...
Who's we in that?
The American populace, the world populace, even those in China deserve good news that's accurate. And I think what President Obama is talking about, I mean, first of all, he's frustrated, right? And he's been frustrated throughout the campaign because he's felt like it's been a factless, vortex that Donald Trump has created where he said things off the cuff and gotten away with it, whereas Hillary Clinton has kind of gotten slammed for all of this. And we've debated this over and over again, and she lost and he won, and I get that. But when you have people like, I believe his name is Pete Horner, this guy who's now bragging about all the fake news that he put out through the election cycle, like he's responsible for that story that there were protesters paid $3,500 to go to Trump rallies. And he said it's completely fake. If you look at the link, it's abcnews.co, not .com. And Kellyanne Conway retweeted it. Corey Lewandowski did. And if people aren't being smart about the news that they're consuming, I do think we have a problem.
I guess there are two tracks here, Kristen. One is the idea that people didn't vote for Hillary because they just didn't know enough, because they're dumb. And that's the implication of what the left is saying. The president just said. But the idea that Facebook or Google or Twitter could remove things without our knowledge, shouldn't that get us up in arms?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a libertarian, and I think we need to let the market decide what is worthwhile and what is not. The actual fake news sites, they will lose credibility and eventually their audience.
When will Alex Jones lose credibility?
Well,
when is
there's an audience. There's an audience for Alex Jones. Look, we need to let everything get posted. Otherwise, it's going to be up to Facebook or some other institution, or worse, the government, to decide what fake news is.
So, a high-level Democratic strategist on Fox News earlier today called for Infowars.com to, quote, lose all its credibility and be shut down by the government. We're going to play a clip here for you in a minute. All he did was point out that Trump was winning by internal polls and that the Democrats were oversampling. The polls said that, 9 to 15 to 20 points or more. They hate the fact that almost no one watches them. Top Fox shows have 2 or 3 million viewers. We have that every day or more, conservatively. Some days 25, 30, 40 million viewers. So they're in total panic mode, and teenagers at home, have like 10, 15, 20 million views on YouTube. There's just thousands of prominent people now that are just exploding across the web, from Project Veritas to Mark Dice to, people like Paul Watson. It's not just DrudgeReport.com or Alex Jones now. Everyone should really be concerned about this, though. These are such naked tyrants. But it's not just this Democratic Party operative saying this. This was a big push. These people are all top down. They don't have their own talking points. Obama in Germany called for censoring the internet today. The Communist Chinese came out, the biggest mass murderers in history. I mean, you talk about the boogeyman, they're it. Same folks that just got caught loading hack software on 700 million cell phones and devices in the U.S. They're working with Zuckerberg and everybody to censor the web. And she actually says, China deserves to be free like we do. It's good what China's doing. And she's all arrogant and I'm in charge. It's like, no one's watching you, bimbo. I mean, give me a break, man. You're such a flaming authoritarian. And Tucker Carlson's on the show going, so we need to censor people. Isn't that scary? And she goes, no, it's fake. I say it's fake, okay? You're fake. You got caught faking. It's all in the WikiLeaks. you're the discredited people. CNN with fake reporters, fake people they're interviewing, fake satellite interviews. I mean, green screen, chroma key, lying, fake focus groups. I mean, you finally give us the name for you, though. You're not prostitute media. You're not dinosaur media. You are fake news. So let's look at some of this. Here she is. She's in charge now. Oh, my gosh. Listen, are we going to ban Alex Jones? Here it is.
There are two tracks here, Christopher. One is the idea that people didn't vote for Hillary because they just didn't know enough, because they're dumb. And that's the implication of what the left is saying. But the idea that Facebook or Google or Twitter could remove things without our knowledge, shouldn't that get us up in arms?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a libertarian, and I think we need to let the market decide what is worthwhile and what is not. The actual fake news sites, they will lose credibility and eventually their audience.
When will Alex Jones lose credibility?
Well,
when is
there's
it
an
gonna
audience.
happen?
There's an audience for Alex Jones. Look, we need to let every...
And then she goes on to say, I need to be shut down by the government. I mean, it's like a 6-minute video. Go watch it for yourself. Fake news. Look at Infowars.com. It's just you talking. When will Alex Jones lose credibility? Fake news says they want to shut us down. I mean, we show a big list of fake news you've put out. You know, we're the ones that Hillary was falling down from seizures. Notice it happened a month later. I mean, we have the sources. There's CNN with their own cameraman posing as a citizen being interviewed. I mean, this just goes on and on. The amount of fake garbage. China presses tech firms to police the internet, restrict our free speech. That's the Wall Street Journal today. Here's Obama in Germany. Because globalism is in so much trouble. The same globalism, the New York Times says, doesn't exist. Just like we're all racist because we supported Trump, even though it was the same reporters, like Michael Moore, that had to admit it was actually the people that elected Obama that elected Trump. The truth is they're discredited. They're a joke. They've still got big corporate money behind them, but it's pretty entertaining watching them bleed out. And they came out earlier this week with a, quote, fake list of fake news. And the list was fake. It was Breitbart. It was InfoWars. It was you name it. And all it did was cause us to get more traffic. Because they were all over the discredited media the last 2 days going, here's the fake sites you don't visit, the ones you shouldn't look at. You people are so arrogant. So then we learned some cat lady professor had made up the list, so now they've removed the list. Because, quite frankly, defamatory. The difference is we try to tell the truth at InfoWars. We get stuff wrong sometimes. But mainstream media has been caught lying over and over again. Let me show you. I've got several of these articles up on Infowars.com where they've been caught putting out the fake news. I mean, here's one. We're bigger than the BBC. And so for a few days, they delisted us on one of the biggest Quantcast sites that goes off Google. Here you see Infowars.com 126 on the web, not just news sites. And it's bigger than BBC, bigger than the Wall Street Journal, bigger than the New York Times online. And that's only one of our websites. I mean, here's the deal. Mainstream media is finally saying, I'm dangerous, shut me down, I'm huge. 4 articles the last week of the New York Times. So what? I'm bigger than the New York Times. But they're finally recognizing, oh my God, you're big. So instead of calling you a conspiracy theorist, we're just going to say you're fake and say shut you down. As if you can shut anything down. You try to shut me down, I get 10 times bigger. You people are really crazy. I mean, all I'm doing is showing clips of you calling for world government and then show Obama saying world government doesn't exist. All I'm doing is showing Obama say your health care is going to be free, no death panels, and no IRS fines, no penalties, and then I show where it's all happening. I mean, we just have a memory. That's all we do. My job is like super easy. I go, oh, here's Gruber who wrote a health care bill saying, thank God you're stupid and how much he hates you. They're like, oh, that's fake news. Oh, really, off C-SPAN? Him saying it? 95% of what we do is just showing you, oh my God, I've got a college degree. He's on roll. Okay. I'm a Democrat Party analyst. I go on shows. And then she mentions some other fake news site. Who knows that's even true? She says they're fake and then mixes that in with me. Meanwhile, WikiLeaks admitted they were paying to bus people in to demonstrate against Trump and pose as Bernie Sanders supporters. I don't know about the site she mentions where she says $3,500. I don't know if that's real, but I mean, that's admitted they did that. So see, it's all this cover up, mop up what they already did. Every talking point is she's got these talking points on the show about fake news and she's spewing BS at you. That's all right because, she's a woman and she's empowered. So here you go. And I love how the media goes, Jones claims he's 125 on the internet ratings. I mean, no, I'm not, or 126. I'm not claiming that. I mean, there it is. But I already knew this. I don't need you to tell me that. I mean, we've got 1 billion views on one channel, 2 billion on all our YouTube channels total, and then like 5 billion. The vice president of YouTube showed us a map like 2 years ago. We were at 5 billion. And they're like, hey, let us monetize all these other sites. I'm like, no, we just want the information to get out. Post your stuff on your site. I don't care. We just want to reach people. But they just go, listen, I'm wearing a black dress, okay? You don't count. You're fake, I said. Well, 48 hours into you saying we're fake, they're now going, where'd this list come from that Google went with for their Chrome and that everybody else used? Oh, some cat lady professor. Nothing against cat ladies. I got a couple cats, but it's just some cat lady that said she's God. It's like, oh my God, you're God. You say what's real, you say what's not. Okay, you're right, Obamacare's free, and you know, Donald Trump never was against the Iraq War. Even though I can show you 6 clips of him being against the war. But that doesn't matter. They go, he never said that. Remember Lester Holt goes, you did not say that, Trump, at the first debate. And Trump's like, well, yeah, I did. I'm Lester Holt. You didn't say that. Okay, I'm Lester Holt. And I can be back at my big studio right now in a suit. People don't want that anymore, folks. They just want reality. So here's the good news. It's not working anymore, ladies and gentlemen, and people are aware of what's happening. But I do want to say this, and I want to get Rob New's take on this. It does show the incredible desperateness now that they're doing stuff like this. What do you think, dude?
Well, what I've seen in the last month is 5-6 years in the making in terms of being able to build up enough credibility and show people that we're right. I know, the cat lady's speaking. But it's just incredible that we keep showing, and even yesterday I was showing, they said Trump was asking for security clearance. Trump was asking for security clearance for his kids. And they went through this, and then Trump put out a tweet at 3 a.m. and said, no, I'm not looking for security clearance. And then Salon the next afternoon said, he's looking for security clearance. Why is he doing that? And even Politico said, no, he admitted he's not. And then they found out, well, it may have been from a staffer who was purged during the Mike Pence purge.
Oh, and now they're pissed that he's getting rid of lobbyists.
Yeah. And I think that's the whole thing. They see the establishment coming under attack, and they're trying to do anything they can to discredit that movement of having the establishment come under attack, because they can't stand the fact that nobody trusts what they say anymore. No one cares. It's going. And I've never seen the site this high on the rankings. We used to look at the Alexa rankings a lot and be like, whoa, yeah. We'd be like, whoa, we're way up there. We are beyond that now. We have circled the moon, and now we've got that gravitational pull, and we're coming back hard into the earth. And people better recognize what's going on, and that these news outfits that think that they're mainstream and they're the only credible news source out there, they have a lot to learn, and it's going to be a long time coming. Yeah.
Look, it's delusion. I'm not on a power trip that we're number 126, or that we have 5 million views on YouTube. It just shows people are hungry for the truth. It just shows they left a big vacuum. It's that they're not going to call us conspiracy theorists now. They're going to have the president say in a speech, shut down independent media, and the communist Chinese are like, yeah, we own Hollywood now. They're buying the whole thing up. You do what we say. It's like, whoa. I mean, and they don't ever list what we're saying is fake, or they misrepresent what we say. You know, like one of the most favorite ones they do every day is like, Jones said the government sent a tornado to Oklahoma City. A lady called in and says it's a weather weapon. I said, they have weather weapons, but I don't think this was a weather weapon. And it doesn't hurt me when they attack me and I respond. I'm just saying, guys, you don't have any credibility. Our listeners are way bigger than your audience, and they know we're telling the truth. And so it's just watching you with your arrogance, that already failed you so big. And so the mainstream media is just gone. It's just got all this corporate money behind it, and it's like Carlos Slim propping up the New York Times. The New York Times had a story on Monday saying Alex Jones is insane, basically. He believes in a thing called globalism. It doesn't exist. Meanwhile, Obama is in Greece and Germany saying globalism's in trouble. The system of world government, we've got to prop it up. I mean, it's like this mind game where you're like delusional and you're God, and I go, the color green is very beautiful. And you go, color green doesn't exist, Alex. And I go, yeah, it does, trees and grass. Like, no, conspiracy theorists. I'm like, well, our audience is really big. Yes, and it's fake news, and we're going to shut you off now. I mean, it's just like, what the hell? And there's such a vacuum of men in the country. I'm not against women, but it's all these weird women that are like doubled down with the state in this weird confidence game, like they're in a beauty pageant or something, and they're 5 years old, and they're like, oh yeah, you're fake, we're shutting you down. And we're like, hey, all the arrogance at Fox News, folks, where they're the biggest thing on cable now. Their average show is 1 million viewers. I mean, This will probably have 500,000 views. I've probably done 20 videos. They would probably have 10, 15 million views today. We had 85 million views the week of the election. I mean, I'm only saying that because these people don't count, folks. It's independent journalists like Project Veritas and James O'Keefe. It's DrudgeReport.com. It's they're saying Breitbart's a fake site. Oh yeah, they just elected the president, Stephen Bannon. They say he's a racist. You dig up his writings, it's the opposite. It's just, dude, they're tripling down on lies. Where do you think this is going?